What will today's 4-year-olds need for skills when they enter the workforce? We have no idea because the world is changing so rapidly that we can't even begin to imagine what it will look like. But the one thing we can be sure they'll need is the ability to solve problems because there'll always be plenty of those. And as the world becomes more complex, so too will the problems. Still, our schools, with their emphasis on rote memorization and filling in bubbles, isn't exactly preparing kids for tomorrow's world. Heck, they're barely preparing them for today's. But you can give them a great start by fostering their critical and creative thinking skills, and you can do that by using as much divergent problem solving in as many different areas of the curriculum as you can. In other words, you'll present the children with challenges that have more than one possible response. This allows all the children to respond at whatever level they're capable, offering plenty of opportunity for success. It also helps them think outside the bubble and to realize there isn't always going to be just one right answer to every question or problem. Here's an example of how diverse responses can be. If you've asked the children to balance on two body parts, one child who doesn't feel especially confident might simply stand on his 2 feet. Another might balance on two knees, and still another, who may be enrolled in a gymnastics program, might perform a handstand. But there are also many other possibilities for balancing on two body parts: a knee and an elbow, a hand and a foot, a knee and the top of the head, or two cheeks. If you're working on geometry and you ask the children to show you a triangle, for example, some might use the whole body to demonstrate it, while others use just their arms, their legs, or their fingers. Here are some other examples of divergent problem solving from different content areas. For music, hand out instruments and invite the children to discover how many different sounds they can create with theirs. For example, a tambourine can be shaken, hit with a hand, flicked with a finger, banged against a hip, or rubbed with a palm. Give each child an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and invite them to discover how many different sounds they can create with it. Possibilities include crumpling it, tearing it, rubbing it on top of the head or other body parts, flicking it with a finger, or rolling it up and blowing through it. Keep in mind that both are active listening experiences too, which also places them under emergent literacy. And how many is a quantitative concept, so these activities fall into the content area of math as well. And speaking of math, you can try these. Choose a body part, a hand for example, and ask the children to discover how many ways they can move it. Because this focuses on body parts, it's also a science activity. Post drawings of a circle, square, triangle, and rectangle. Discuss each of the shapes with the children. Then invite them to replicate each shape with their body or with individual body parts, one at a time, of course. You'll be amazed at the number of possibilities they show you. For a counting activity, ask the children to place a certain number of body parts on the floor. If you've asked them to touch the floor with only 5 body parts, you might see such combinations as 2 hands, 1 knee, and 1 foot, 2 knees, 2 hands, and the top of the head, 2 feet, 2 hands, and the bottom. Here are a few more examples of language arts experiences. This word comprehension activity teaches children about verbs that describe things the body does and nouns that describe sounds the body makes. Talk to the children about the sounds of a cough, sneeze, yawn, hiccup, giggle, and snore. Then say the words one at a time and invite the children to demonstrate how their body moves when they act out the selected word. Each child will respond in his or her own way. If you want, you can encourage the children to then find another way to demonstrate the same sound. You'll need a book or story with a predictable plot for this activity. Read the story aloud to the children, stopping occasionally to ask them what they think happens next. Acknowledge all their ideas and then invite them to demonstrate their predictions physically. Before you reach the conclusion of the book, stop again and ask the children how they think the story ends. Sit with the children in a circle and start a story with one line. For example, once upon a time, a little girl and boy. Ask the child to your right or left to continue the story from there, contributing no more than 2 sentences. Continue the process all the way around the circle with each child adding to the story. By the time it comes back to you, the story should be concluded. If it doesn't have what the children feel is a satisfactory ending, supply one yourself. The most important thing you can do during divergent problem-solving experiences is to point out all the different responses you see. As the children begin to experience, different responses and see there were no wrong answers, they become more and more willing to think outside the box, or the bubble as it were, and to take creative risks. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to learn more about my work or to buy a PDF with this script and slides, plus a bonus activity and suggestions for children's books and music, go to www.raypica.com. See you next time.